tunnels are nearly full these days. When I first arrived, it was just a few of us, our whiskers only brushing each other in rare chance meetings in the dark. Now we squirm past each other, our bodies losing autonomy as fur meets bone meets beady eyes. It's dusk, and I can feel the burst of energy that accompanies the sun setting each day. My nose twitches faster, and my hind legs have a little extra power as I spring toward the great tree that I've been sleeping under lately. I flow over the knobbled path's ridges and roots, dips and mounds. Layers of smell. Night-blooming jasmine unfurls and mixes with the dry red dirt rising around my legs. Rotting fish washed up on the nearby shore combines with the shoots of new grass poking above the soil. The sun has sunk below the coastline, and the velvet texture of darkness covers my vision. Even before I arrive, I can smell the two newcomers in the group, a kind of leafy caramel and moist dirt. They are nestled in my usual sleeping spot among the roots. One is white, with an archipelago of dark spots wreathing their face, and the other jet black, like me. They breathe rapidly, resting against each other, and I decide not to wake them. At first, I tried to mentally keep track of the newcomers, giving them names like Leaf, Switch, and Legs. But after a few moons, I gave up. There's too many. And besides, this isn't some holiday camp where we all have to become friends. I can only guess that New Mars is off the coast of Australia because of the proliferation of kangaroo paw flowers on the island. I don't know for sure though. It wasn't made explicitly clear in our induction package when we got uploaded. I guess they didn't want us to know. I don't know why though, because it's not like we can just hop off the island whenever we want. I signed up to Rabbit Island because I finally ran out of money a couple of years ago, in the late 2020s. It was this or flu trials, and I've heard some horror stories about people never recovering. Somehow life as a rabbit, even with no hope of returning to being a human, seemed more humane. The rest of the rabbits, the newcomers, are a blend of former hippies, burnt-out Gen Zs, and artist types. Even though this world was sold to us as a luxury, we all know what we are. Test subjects for a new world order. Most conversations with the other newcomers go something like this. Hey, greetings. How's the eating toward the sun? Not bad today. Shoots are growing back. Some are eating them too soon. The newcomers don't know yet. We have to wait for rain again to return there. But sometimes, the newcomers want to talk about their past lives. At first, it was charming to hear their stories. The spurned lover who needed a fresh start. Or the burnt-out exec, ready for a permanent vacation. After a while, though, it becomes difficult to care. What does this life, with its hot sunlight on fur and endless humid nights, have anything to do with that one? Sometimes the newcomers carry glimmers of the outside world, like updates on the implant procedure, or the gradually shifting political landscape of a dying world. I try to care about these small facts, even though I can feel my animal brain taking over, pointing me to the immediate. What's around me? Sun, 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 sky, dirt, dirt, leaves. With a wildly colliding smellscape and soundscape, atoms vibrating into orifices, nights stretching into days, stretching into nights. What is the outside world at this point, anyway? Us rabbits are a blend of virtual and physical. The first experiments in what I guess would have been called the singularity at the time didn't go well. There are a few documented cases of these early uploaded consciousnesses with no bodies. After a few months, they developed some pretty extreme psychological conditioning and had to be deleted. I think of them like my unborn digital ancestors, floating off somewhere in the ether, echoing around cyberspace. It turns out bodies are essential to consciousness. But scientists and philosophers started to ask the question, are human bodies essential to human consciousness? And that led to the first experiments into kind of blended existence, a chip containing a virtual upload of a human consciousness running connected to an animal brain. These consciousnesses, our consciousnesses, fared much better, though it's too early to tell how we're going to play out in the long run. How long do rabbits live, anyway? I have a confession to make, though. The rabbit inside me, the rabbit brain, the rabbit soul isn't gone. We coexist. I can feel the rabbit's mind nudging against mine, a kind of low, constant hum. At first, it was uncanny, almost like being haunted by some ghost. When I move my legs, I don't know. Is it me, or is it the rabbit's brain? When we eat grass, I don't know. Is it me, or is it the rabbit? Me, or the rabbit? Since I arrived on the island, nearly 60 newcomers have arrived. They never appear in the same spot, but it's starting to become difficult to tell who's new and who I've just forgotten. But one thing is for sure, our numbers are swelling, and I'm starting to get worried about how little grass is left on the south side of the island. One day, though, a new kind of newcomer arrives. Dawn's clarity startles me each time, my vision unusually good for a few minutes. I take advantage to survey my surroundings, even though I've already begun to smell everything. I can sense another newcomer, but this time their smell is slightly different than the others. They have an undernote of meat, but this meat is calling on my old human memory. It's as if their smell is leaping across my two brains, and for an uncomfortable moment, I can feel the connection laid bare in a sharp electric shock. I smell meat like a steak cooking in a restaurant, or the wild, thick stench of a butcher shop. The smell comes from about 20 feet away, and I carefully make my way across some of the others who are still sleeping. Hey, greetings, I call out. Or at least I think I do. I've never heard my own voice from my animal self's mouth, so I don't actually know how I'm communicating. This time, though, nothing in return. Hey, newcomer, hello, greetings. You can speak to me. I'll understand you. I don't know how, but trust me, it works. As I come closer, I see this newcomer. A stark white with beady pink eyes and a strange glassy stare. Silence continues to greet me. This newcomer, I'll call them Powder, I decide, disquiets me. Something about them. Something about their eyes. I don't see the kind of human look in their eyes that the other newcomers have. All I see is animal. In a quick movement, Powder stands bolt upright and sniffs the air. Thanks.